What is up, guys? Macro Marciano here. Excited to bring you guys this video on how to macro cap. What is macro capping, you might ask? That is where at the end of the day, when you have still macronutrients you need to hit, you use these items, single macronutrient items, to hit your macros right on point. So I'm going to go over some items that are great items to be used to macro cap, and then go into and show you how you can do that on MyFitnessPal and figure out exactly how much you need to measure of that item to get the exact macronutrients you need out of it. So some of our carb sources, of course, we got the ice creams. We got a zero fat and a full fat ice cream here, again depending on what you have to play with. Some rice cakes, all these great cereals make for great macro cappers. And of course some fruits. For our fat sources that make good macro caps, some nuts, some peanut butter, cheeses, yes, cheese, because it is full fat cheese. Regular cheese is pretty high in fat, as well as some almond milk, which is basically just straight fat. And then for protein sources, we have some deli meat, quick and easy protein macro capper. Some Greek yogurt, just measure it out, and it's pretty significant protein. And of course, you can never go wrong with some protein powder. Again, some different flavors, so you can choose what you want that night, add some variety that way. So basically what you're going to be doing is altering the serving size in order to get the amount of macronutrients you need out of that particular item. So you don't have to eat items in the full serving. You can do half serving, a quarter serving, a third of a serving, 0.57, 0.63 of a serving. I'll show you how you do that all in the app. But again, these are some great sources that you can use as macro cappers. You got your carbs here, you got your fats, and you got your protein sources. Of course, there's other items, but these are kind of the items that I had on hand and the ones that I use the most. So just to give you an example of something like you could do to macro cap, would be, say you made you a shake and you measure out the amount of protein you need to get the number of proteins, and then you have some carbs left over, 13, 14 grams of carbs, and you measure out, say you want to use cereal, you kind of make your shake, throw some cereal in there for some crunch. You use the amount of cereal you need to get the amount of carbs that you need. And of course, one full serving is more than the 13 grams of carbs you might need, but by changing the serving size, you'll know. Again, I'll go over and show you how you measure that out and figure out what you need to measure in order to get the amount of macronutrients out of that particular item. Another great example would be, so you have some Greek yogurt, you need some protein, you got a little bit of carbs, this has a little bit of carbs, so you would measure out the amount of protein, or the amount of Greek yogurt, and then add some protein powder in there to get the protein powder up, or the protein content up. And say you have some fats, so you drink you a cup of some almond milk for a little bit of fats. So again, I'm going to show you guys how you guys can change the serving size to get the amount of macronutrients you need out of any particular item to hit your numbers right on dot.
Alright guys, here we go. So with MyFitnessPal you can hit the plus at the bottom and click food, or you can just tap diary, go to diary. We're going to do it under breakfast. We're going to hit the add food. Now I don't have peanut butter saved, so we're going to search for one. So I'm just typing peanut butter and putting a brand behind it. That's how you can find items that you don't know exactly of. You can just search a generic one. Gonna scroll down, find something that has the gram serving size. So right there's 2 tablespoons with 32 grams. Click that, click add. Well, actually, I'm going to search for the carb source now, our Lucky Charms. This peanut butter is our fat source. So there we go. Going to change the serving size back to 1, like you would normally find it. And then now getting our protein powder. Again, changing the serving size back to how you would normally find it, which it's normally going to be in its, there you go. So 1. Going back now, we'll click add all 3. And as we turn it to the side to see our macros for that particular meal, see we're 32 carb, 18 fat, 33 protein. So I'm going to try to make this meal 20 carb, 10 fat, and 20 protein. So now we're getting into the peanut butter to take that fat content down. It's at 16 per 1. So what we're going to do is you just take half of it. So you're going to take 0.5 to get us to 8. Okay, so with the other items, that might put us right at 10. Now we're going to do the protein powder again. We need less than that, so we're going to try 0.7. Okay, 0.7 puts us at 16.8. With the other items, that should put us right around 20. Then same thing with the Lucky Charms. We're a little over, so we're going to go a little less, so you can put 0.7. So you see, if you put 0.8, 0.6, you just mess with it till you see the amount of carbs that you need. Put it to the side. So we're pretty close. 21 carb, 10 fat, 22 protein. So now we got to change it just a little bit. So we're going to go to the Lucky Charms. We need just a hair less, so we put 0.65. So that dropped us 1 gram of carb down. Now we're going to the protein powder, raise this down again as just a hair. So we're going to try 0.65. So that took us down 1 carb, but we needed 2, so I'm going to try 0.6. And then we're going to turn it to the side. And so there we are. Oh, we need 1 more protein. So I'm going to go back. So 0.65 would have done it. So there we go. Now we turn it to the side and we should be right on. There we go. 20, 10, 20. Just what I wanted. So now I'm going to help you guys show you how you figure that out. So we used half a serving, so 0.5. So 1 serving size is 32. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that 0.5, get your calculator, take 0.5 times the serving size weight measurement. So that's 32, which is going to give us 16, which makes sense. You know, if 1 serving size is 32, half of that is going to be 16, and we're using half of 1 serving. So now going on to the Lucky Charms. So serving size is 27 grams for 1, but we're using 0.65. So you're going to take 0.65 and multiply that by 27, and that will give us how much we would measure out to get 14.3 grams of carbs from that. So you see how I did that? 0.65 times the weighted measurement amount, which is 27, which is going to give us 18, or 17, 18. So now the same thing for the protein powder. Go to the protein powder, 0.65, so we're going to multiply that times the serving size of measurement, which is 31 grams. So 0.65 times 31, that'll give us the amount of grams we would measure out on our scale. So as you can see, as if I change it to 0.7, that increases the carbs just a hair by 1. So if I needed 1 more gram, then I would take 0.7 times the 31, and as you can see, the gram measurement we measure out is going to be slightly more because we're getting more out of it to get slightly higher protein. So taking it back to 0.65, there you go. And then I'm showing you right here how sometimes you can change the serving size. So instead of having it 31 grams per serving, you change it to just 1 gram, and then you type in the amount of grams instead of having to split it up like that. So always check on sometimes the serving sizes. You can change it to where you just add in the grams, or just change it to 1 ounce or whatever you may be using. So there we go, 20 carb, 10 fat, and 20 protein. So and just sliding down, see how you can hit nutrition at the bottom, and at the top usually it's already set on calories, but if you slide over to macros, you can see the macros. So this is going to show the macros for the whole entire day, but if you want to turn it to the side and see the breakdown for each meal. So now I hope that was informative, and this helps you be able to hit your macros right on the number no matter what you have left for the rest of the day. So regardless of what you have, 12 carb, 4 fat, 12 protein, 5 carb, 7 fat, and 24 protein, that with your single macronutrient items that you can hit whatever numbers you need to by changing the serving size to get the amount of macronutrients you need out of a certain item. As well as if during the day you're trying to stay within a certain amount of macros to fit something in later in the day, you would do the same thing. Just adjust the serving sizes to get the macros that you need out of it.
So guys, hopefully that helped explain how you can change the macronutrient serving size to get the amount of macronutrients you need out of an item. And I challenge you guys to find other macro cappers that you guys enjoy or like. You could use things such as applesauce, any kind of like jellies for carb sources, fats. You honestly could use mayonnaise. But yeah, so I challenge you guys to find other macro cappers you like. But hopefully now this will help you guys hit your numbers right on the point, which will lead to your guys' overall success.